Our gospel reading comes from the book of Mark, chapter 10, verses 35 through 45. James and John, the sons of Zebedee, came forward to him and said, "Teacher, we want you to do whatever we ask of you." And he said to them, "What is it you want me to do for you?" And they said, "Grant us to sit, one at your right hand and one at your left, in your glory." But Jesus said to them, "You don't know what you're asking. Are you able to drink the cup that I drink, or be baptized with the baptism that I am baptized with?" And they replied, "We are able." Then Jesus said to them, "The cup that I drink, you will drink. And with the baptism with which I am baptized, you will be baptized. But to sit at my right hand or my left hand, it is not mine to grant, but it is for those for whom it has been prepared." When the 10 heard this, they became angry with James and John. So Jesus said to them, "You know that among the Gentiles, those whom they recognize as their rulers lord it over them, and their great ones are tyrants over them. But it is not so among you. But whoever wishes to become great among you must be a servant, and whoever wishes to be first among you must be a slave of all. For the Son of Man came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many." Hear what the Spirit is saying to the church. In today's lesson, the disciples are walking down the road, as they often are, and talking. Perhaps, though, the conversation left out that we didn't hear about in today's reading is important as well. Perhaps it went like this. James might say, "John, we've been walking for days now. We've been healing. We've been teaching. Isn't this great?" "Yeah, James, I'm pretty happy right now. I mean, this guy, he's like the real deal. He is the Messiah." "I know you're right, John. I mean, the things we've seen. Do you remember the leper a few days ago? That was a real healing. I know such things are possible, but when I see it right in front of me like that, I'm just astounded." You know what it was for me, James? The day we were out on the boat, crossing over to the other side, most of us were sleeping until that storm came up. Let me tell you, I thought we were going to die. Everything we did to sail the ship seemed to be wrong. And then you went and woke up Jesus, and he told the sea and the storm to be quiet. And pow, just like that, all was well. That's when I knew. Oh yeah, that was something else, John. But you know what I don't get? Jesus keeps talking about the end, about how he has to die. I don't get it. If he's the Messiah, why does he have to die? Won't God save him? Do you think it's maybe like some kind of test? Do you think we're supposed to know that it doesn't work that way? That's a good question, James. I'm not sure about what Jesus means when he talks like that. And at the same time, I'm still utterly convinced that he is God's chosen. John, why don't we ask him to do us a favor? Let's ask him to be the ones to sit at his right and left hands in heaven and see what he says. I mean, we are the best of his apostles, The others don't pay attention quite as well as we do. They don't ask questions like we do. It's a fair thing to ask. Well, seems fair enough to me, James. I mean, I really want to understand what the ultimate plan is. Is all this work we're doing now about the here and now? Or is it all about our heavenly reward? I don't know. Come on, James, let's ask. Hey, Jesus, can we ask you a favor? What is it you want me to do for you, James, John? Well, James and I have been thinking, can we sit one at your right hand and one at your left hand when we go into the next life, into God's glory? Well, James, John, it's a very hard question. Do you both really want to drink my cup? To be baptized with my baptism? I mean, do you really want to accept the challenge, the pain, and the suffering of everything that I will be asked to endure? Yes, Jesus, we want that. We left everything behind to follow you, to help you. We are in this all the way. I believe in you, James, and you too, John. But what you are asking is not mine to give you. It's God's choosing. And asking such a thing reassures me that I have much yet to teach you about God's kingdom and about God's hope for our lives. James and John let Jesus get ahead of them on the road. The other disciples would crowd around them and begin to ask questions of them. Why did you guys ask that question? What are you guys thinking? You guys aren't the best disciples. You're the worst. How could you ask for such a thing? And as the time goes on, James and John let themselves linger to the back, with the others walking in front of them. Well, John, that didn't quite turn out the way I thought it would. I think I'm more confused than when we started talking. James, I don't know what we were thinking. But you know what our teacher did say. He said that we could drink his cup. We could share his baptism. We could share his life with him. What does that mean, John? Is he not really the Messiah? Is that why we can share it with him? No, James. I'm still sure he is the Messiah. But I think we don't really understand who the Messiah is. We don't understand who God is. We don't even understand how God's kingdom is going to work. Yeah, John, you might be right. What are we going to do? James and John perhaps fell into a silence, waiting. When they stopped for the rest of the afternoon and prayers, Jesus began to teach them again. Jesus called to all the disciples, "My friends, come sit here with me. James, John, everyone. I want to teach you something." Over the course of time, there have been many rulers, many kings, some better than others. But when a king becomes a king, he brags about it. He exercises his power for his own pleasure and profit, his own security. A king makes sure his subjects know that he is greater than they are, that they work for him. But this is not how we work. When we travel to a place, we help one another. We care for one another. When we arrive there, we share. We share what we have. We share what we know. I'm not your master. If you've grown tired of following, you may leave. No oath commands that you remain with me. Any of us who wish to become great need only to serve others. If it is God's grace and mercy that you seek, you need only to invest yourselves in God's work. I didn't come here so you could worship me or so that you might do my work for me. I came so that I might serve you, that I might teach and heal you. If you wish, you may share this burden and this joy with me. I am here to use my life up serving as many others as I possibly can. Like you, I have no money, nor do I have any possessions. What I can offer is my service, my kindness, my love. I can preach, I can teach, and I can heal just as you can. God's kingdom is upside down, backwards, inside out thinking. The first will be last, the last will be first, and it's not about us. It's about all those other people out there. When in love we serve others, that's when we're doing the work of God's kingdom. Greatness comes from living this with a humble heart. Come on, guys. I think we can make a few more miles before we stop for the evening night. Amen.